This road will be a quality of life issue because it'll provide safe driving from 35th to the frontage road. It will have a bike path so people can enjoy this off of Rosamond Boulevard.
On behalf of Rosamond, SKUSD, we know the need for this, and it will enhance our future park. Thank you very much.
All right, we're official, folks.
Hey.
This is part of the $53 million road bond that the Board of Supervisors passed last year. Our county has been very conservative in its spending. We have an excellent credit rating. Our bond rating is superb, and we decided that we were going to set aside enough money to pay off this road bond and be a stimulus package for our county of Kern, and it's worked out wonderful because the downturn in the economy has reduced the cost of doing these projects.
This project is so disjointed with the way that there's a road over on half of the road for part of it, and then there's a road on the north side for part of it, and then there's also some great drainage and grading issues associated with the project. So it was quite an extensive design effort to get this project to fruition.
And how long do you think it'll take to
build it?
Yeah.
6 weeks.
6 weeks.
About a month and a half. Weather permitting.
You know, I think the biggest challenge at the present time is employment and jobs. I think it's critical that we get people back to work and that we keep them working. And so that's sort of two-pronged. We sustain existing businesses and then we try to create and develop new businesses that make sense for East Kern. One of the greatest things that I bring to the entire 2nd District, including Rosamond, is communication and keeping lines of communication open and really being responsive to the needs of the community.
And what's happening here is they're grouting the block on the way up. You see the guy up there at the top left frame, he's holding that hose. Well, they're pumping concrete from that truck down below to fill up the cement block around the rebar.
Well, the laboratory we got out here, Earth Systems, is so impressed with the masonry work out here that they want to come and review it just for not only structurally, but just the cosmetics of it is perfect.
Who's really responsible for that? The masons? Or?
Yeah, well, it's teamwork. The masons are Bledsoe. They're really good.
Good. And then the concrete people and
it's the masons they grout their own. It's all them.
The significance of this water banking is probably going to go down as one of the greatest events that's happened in the life of the Antelope Valley, and actually for the total region and the state of California. It's extremely significant that what we're doing and what Antelope Valley is doing with the Rosamond Water Bank is leading the way. I think it took real guts and real courage and statesmanship to do what has been done by the Rosamond Community Service District and their partners in the Joint Power Authority. I was ecstatic then, I'm ecstatic now. I think that they're leading the way to help solving problems, our water problems. And our water problems is storage, conveyance, and distribution. And if California got their act together, every citizen in California would benefit. And this is just one of the many things that needs to be done, and it's so great. Now, I was just had a lump in my throat the whole time about what a great event this was, and I was so proud to be part of that day.
And the Rosamond Semi-Tropic Water Bank is overflowing the first pond through this weir box into a second pond here. These gates to the left of frame can be dropped in those concrete slots. That'll keep the water from overflowing and fill up the pond to a higher level. Want to make sure, of course, that it doesn't overflow the bank.
Counselors are currently giving the students, the seniors, some good information. They've talked to the juniors, and then they moved on to the seniors. And tonight we have the boys basketball playoff game versus West Covina. Should be a good match. And
on March 4th, the Rosamond Teachers Association is going to have a rally. Yes. What's that for, and what do you hope to accomplish?
It's designed to raise awareness in the public on the devastating impacts of the state cuts on all of public education and specifically the impacts on our district.
Okay.
And so we hope to help make the parents aware of what these cuts are doing for their schools and their students.
Mr. Johnson, about the girls' locker room at Roseman High School, what's the projected timeline to use that?
It's the boys' and girls' locker rooms are both closed.
Okay.
And they have come up with a fix, and I don't know what the timeline is because we have no control on how long it will be in DSA to get through the Department of State Architect and get the plan approved.
Gave a bright spot tonight in all the gloom and doom about financial duress of the district when you said that developers' fees came in. How much was that? And
it was right at $60,000.
The joint use agreement that was devised between the Southern Kern Unified School District and the Roseman Community Service District was to consolidate funds between both districts. By doing so, where the schools have property and playgrounds, we don't have the funds and help to go behind it. SKUSD and Parks and Recreation and writing grants that we are both in alignment with our agreement, we can utilize funds from both groups in order to bring more play fields, activity centers, programs, summer programs to the youth and to the people in Rosemont.
which means that the people could use the school facilities for recreation on the weekends or summer whenever it's not being used, kind of like that?
That is correct. The only time that they would not be able to use it is during the school hours between like 7 o'clock in the morning until 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Then they're opened up to the public.
And the handout I provided you basically goes back over the last 6 months and looks at the number of projects that have been in this general area. And I'm going to provide you an overview of that. I think there's a feeling that there have been a lot of projects that have been missed, and actually there haven't been a lot of projects in this area over the last 6 months. What cases did we have going on? What was our track record of making sure you were getting notice of different projects? And you'll see in that front page of what I provided you that over this approximate 6-month period, we had in this general area, and I want to tell you the notification area for you, and I've included a map, includes both the Willow Springs and the Rosemont area. I think there was some concern, Lorelei was telling me, that you weren't getting notification of the Willow Springs area, and I've made sure that Willow Springs area projects are being included in that. So this map that I've included basically is the area that we're focused on in providing, when we have a development project, our intention is to provide you with notification of that.
35th Street West right now is on a timer. That's why it drives everybody nuts, because it goes through the whole cycle, because what happened when AVEC put in their new pipeline, they sort of damaged the sensors. We're waiting to get them repaired. So once they're repaired, we'll go back once again on sensing a vehicle and work that way, so it'll be a lot smoother.
Economic development, I think, is probably the biggest challenge that we have here in East Kern. Obviously, we want East Kern to grow and grow in a responsible manner, and water is a big component to growth. It's really the biggest factor if you're going to look at trying to grow as a community. But there's a lot of things that are going on in Mojave with the airport out there, different rocket propulsion companies, scale composites that I think are things that we need to be promoting more, telling the rest of the state and the rest of the country what's going on out here in East Kern. So people want to come out here and invest, bring their families, bring more jobs, and get involved in the East Kern community. The challenge that you are going to have in Rosemont is continuing to grow your tax base when, let's face it, most of the folks that live here are going over to Lancaster and Palmdale to shop.
Right.
And that is not helping the local tax base in Rosemont.